show them what you can do. Show them what you can do, please show them what you can do. I said, in this parade, please wave your grades to the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do, please show them what you can do. You make this parade a mere charade if you're marching just for fun. Our troops must feel your thanks for real before the marching is done. They know side by side you can match their stride to the drum beat and the brass, but they're not impressed with you unless you can match their stride in class. This may not sound too diplomatic, but I cannot be more emphatic. I'll tell you, it's problematic when you do less than your best, especially when it's because you put your brilliance on pause for the mere peer applause it draws from a so-called friend doing less. Quit playing, I'm saying, you know that you are great, and we know it, so show it. Don't make our heroes wait. In this parade, please wave your grades to the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. For those of you who already do the things that make us proud, your nation in appreciation says thanks to you out loud. Your schoolmates should imitate the way you tap your potential. Let me try to convince them why their effort is essential. Our men and women in uniform, before, during, and after Desert Storm, always perform above the norm, anywhere and everywhere on the planet. They need to follow our heroes' lead, but they cannot lead if they cannot read. Allow me, please, to plant this seed. Don't take freedom for granted. I'm serious, I'm furious to see U.S. schools behind. Remove the clatter, it's just a matter of our making up our minds. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. We believe in you, warriors, protect you to do what you must to rise. Please do your part. Please start before another warrior dies. In this parade, please wave your grades to the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. They sacrifice for you. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. Please.
Good afternoon and welcome to Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org, the academic patriotism program that is dedicated to veterans and serious secondary scholars. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now, here is our host, civilian urban educator, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very, very much on a very special day, a very special weekend, Memorial Day weekend. We are celebrating all weekend. And I am your civilian host, asking American students to strive for excellence in honor of our troops, in honor of our veterans, and today, particularly in honor of those who have sacrificed the greatest sacrifice. So, as we prepare for today's program with our very special guest, let me say to you that one who has been a very special guest on the program since just about the beginning, her name is Rebecca Bradley. And Rebecca Bradley, who will, by the way, come back from time to time, has been director or president of NAPVETS, the National Association of Black Veterans. She has served in Jefferson City and in the community, and now Rebecca Bradley is stretching out in a number of different directions beneficial to those near and far. So I just happened to call and say that we were going to do this very special program today. Did she have any announcements? So one of the first things that veteran Rebecca Bradley mentioned was something called Vet Tix. Vet Tix. Now it's interesting. It is BETTIX. That it is a program that allows veterans to apply for free tickets to events that would ordinarily charge, and in some cases, charge quite high. So, since she did that and I looked it up, I can say to you that if you want to find out how, as a veterans, to get free tickets for certain events, then it is simply VETTIX. VETTIX. And so it is that particularly this weekend, but I think that this is ongoing. Look it up through Rebecca Bradley, and you will find that it is not just for this particular day, but that TIX does provide for veterans, depending upon the event, free tickets. That's outstanding, and thank you, Rebecca Bradley, for that announcement. And so it is that when Rebecca Bradley was talking about things that were special, and I was asking whether or not there should be any announcements given, she really just led me to look up 2024 Memorial Day military discounts. 2024 Memorial Day military discounts. In our conversation immediately, one of the things that she mentioned was Lowe's and Home Depot. So I'm looking at Lowe's and Home Depot because of their giving a special Memorial Day bargains at their store. When I looked it up, it turned out that they're not the only two. It would be just as well, as a matter of fact, it would be even better to just look for 2024 Memorial Day military discounts. Don't be surprised if you find a number of different venues that offer that. And we certainly don't want to trivialize what that is saying, that particular statement. It is indeed in recognition of the ultimate sacrifice, U.S., the ultimate sacrifice. And they are simply among those who are paying attention to what has occurred, not just over the years and decades, over the centuries. So, please, if you are a veteran, if you are related to a veteran, if you know veterans, in fact, troops, let them know. 2024 Memorial Day military discounts and vet ticks. So, in behalf of Wave Your Grades on KUAW, let me say a major thank you to our sister Rebecca Bradley, veteran leader extraordinaire. Today, indeed, is the 25th of May here in Kansas City, Missouri. Our program, Wave Your Grades, emanates from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, an education center for 50 years. It is absolutely remarkable how much, gee, wait a minute now, it might be more than that now that I come to think of it. But at any rate, founded by Leon Dixon and Bill Grace, and continues to work in our community with our students. And our program emphasizes academics, and we like to feature young people who are achieving. Our program is called Wave Your Grades. The reason it's called Wave Your Grades is because there are some people who think that it is sufficient when there are those who have been deployed returning home to welcome them by waving the flag. We suggest to those who are younger, we suggest to those who are in school, that they go beyond simply waving the flag, as it were, but wave your grades, wave your community service, wave your leadership, wave your turnaround from what you used to be to the excellent person you are now. So, if indeed we were to do an end of the year school parade, we would be asking young people to wave what they have accomplished over that particular school year. And don't be surprised, by the way, if in the future we do indeed have an end of the school year wave your grades parade. Our producer, engineer, announcer, co-host, DeQuay Wilson is our guest on the line.
Yes, she is. Miss Debbie Austin is with us.
Outstanding. Good afternoon, Debbie Austin.
Hello, Carl Boyd. How are you this morning?
I am fine. I'm going to put on the earphones so I can hear. And which set should I use? This is okay? Now, thank you so very, very much for joining us this afternoon.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And this is such a special day for a few special reasons. And forgive my taking a moment, but please say something again.
Good morning. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning today.
Yes, it is. Now, I hear you well. I have on my earphones, and let me say to you that our producer, engineer, announcer, co-host, who brought you into the program this afternoon is indeed DeQuay Wilson, and Debbie Austin is with Gold Star Moms. DeQuay, will you let her know from where you just came? We thought that that DeQuay was going to miss the program, having to travel as she did. DeQuay Wilson traveled to and from where?
Leavenworth National Cemetery this morning. We participated in the flag laying ceremony this morning, but I have to add that I would not miss this for the world. If the Lord will allow me to be here, and I do not have an obligation that totally conflicts, I'm going to be here. Well, we participated in placing flags at the headstones of our fallen soldiers.
Oh, that does my heart good, just to know that our fallen is not forgotten. I mean, it's so important to the families to know that we're saying their names and remembering them daily. Thank you. So thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you.
And so it is on this particular day. We have the opportunity, we have the pleasure, we have the honor of having as our very special guest Debbie Austin. Now, as a matter of fact, I do not want to limit the degree to which you, Debbie Austin, pay tribute in more ways than one. But the first thing I would like for you to do for our audience is introduce to us, in your words, your son.
My son was born New Year's Eve, 1986, New Year's Eve. He came in just a happy baby boy, grew up as a young teen with an ornery personality, but a huge heart. Never turned down a dare, had a diverse group of friends. He was just a happy-go-lucky, lived life to the fullest young man. Then, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Then on after 9/11, he came to me and said he wanted to join the military. Of course, that concerned me, but I could see the passion in his heart and in his eyes and knew that this is what he wanted to do, and I did not have the right to take that away from him. He graduated boot camp, Mother's Day, 2006.
Wow.
He left for Kuwait, June 12th, 2006. I got the knock on my door with the 5 words, "We regret to inform you," on October 8th, 2006.
Well,
but he lived life to the fullest.
um, that aspect of it we are certainly pleased to hear, and as far as condolences are concerned, we cannot express them enough. But not only that, and I say with perhaps more pride than I should, I don't deserve to try to measure it, but DeQuay Wilson shares something in common with you in that she lost a son. And when I think about her strength and yours, it is immeasurable. So I thank both of you for joining Wave Your Grades. And now on this particular Saturday morning, I have some questions for you. So I would like to begin by first finding out if there's something in particular on your mind that those who listen should hear.
Well, there's two things, and I think you and I have talked about this before. In my opinion, Memorial Day is a day to maybe, light up that barbecue grill, crack open that beer, hang out with your family and friends, because that's what our young men and women fight for, is for our freedom to be able to enjoy our family and friends,
Yes.
whether it be at the lake or at home. But while doing so, take a moment and reflect on why we have that freedom to do that. I know if Shane was here, we would be having a barbecue together or hanging out, and that's what life is meant to be. Life is short. We have to enjoy it daily.
Thank you for saying that. And by the way, I want to make sure that DeQuay participates at a very high level. I say that often. She simply smiles, but she always has so much to contribute to the program. So DeQuay, please come in at whatever point. Let me just ask a few questions of Debbie Austin. Gold Star Moms has been around for how long from an historical perspective?
Almost 100 years.
Wow.
Now, and let me to explain, when you lose a loved one while serving in the war, you automatically become a Gold Star, whether it be mom, dad, sibling, or child. So you're automatic. I'm a Gold Star mom first, and then I joined an organization of the American Gold Star Mothers. It's kind of like the VFW or American Legion. You can choose to join. That's the difference between a Gold Star and an American Gold Star.
I see. Now, I have the honor of being a youth committee chair on the VFW Auxiliary of Post 8100 of the VFW. I think that this particular chapter, I was one of few males with the VFW Auxiliary, but certainly we do participate. Where Gold Star Moms or American Gold Star is concerned, are there males? And if not formally in the organization, how can we support?
We don't, as far as membership, it's the moms, but we have associates. So like an associate, the dad can join as an associate along with the mom, but we don't exclude when we have an event or anything that we do within the community, everybody is included. We don't exclude anyone. So that's, like any of the events we do, everybody's welcome.
And let me say to DeQuay and certainly to Debbie that Wanda and I appreciate that Debbie Austin introduced us to read this across America so that we now have that opportunity to participate annually. But as far as those kinds of things are concerned, what are some ways civilians like myself can support, not just in name, but the kinds of things that you do, and what are some of those things?
Well, to begin with, say their names. Something as simple as
Thank you.
As just that simple as a thank you means a lot. When I see a veteran, if he has his hats on, hat on, and I just simply say, thank you for your service. I can see his eyes light up. I can see how much that means to him. And I think that's number one. And number two, and Carl, you've heard me say this before, be an American worth dying for. When our boys and men and women are out on the battlefield fighting for our freedom, they don't care what religion or who you voted for or who you love or the color of your skin. None of that's important. And we need to, I just feel we need more of that here on our homeland. Just when we stand together, we stay strong.
One of the things, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, DeQuay.
No, I was just shaking my head in agreement with what she's saying. When you think about the climate of what's going on in America right now, that when she said being American, that's worth dying for, that was the first place my thought process went, is to some of the things that are going on in this country. When you think about America and what it stands for, and just being American worth dying for, just carries so much weight. It just means so much more. So I was just shaking my head in agreement with what she said.
Thank you, thank you. And DeQuay has heard me say over and over and over and over again, young people learn more by example than they do by instruction. And one of the reasons the Debbie Austins in the world are so important to us is because of the kinds of example she sets. As a matter of fact, I should say examples plural, because in a number of ways, going beyond the words, thank you, but indeed participating in those things that help us to appreciate even more those who have served, those who do serve, and the young people who follow their lead, you give them the kind of lead they need to follow. So that is so very, very important. And do you have the occasion from time to time, or perhaps often, to indeed speak to young people in school settings or otherwise?
We do have that opportunity, and I do that through my grandkids a lot too. I teach them, and my grandkids never got to meet their uncle, but they speak of their uncle often, like, towards Veterans Day at school, and they've had me come in and speak. So, and the kids are just so excited, and then they get to share their family military story. My grandpa served, and it's as interesting for me to listen to them as it is for them to listen to my story.
Let me know if I am right about it, but I think that in a high percentage, and I mean a very high percentage of young people I've had the occasion to speak with, will raise their hands when the question is asked, how many of you have someone in your family who has served or is serving? And when you consider that high number of those who have served, I can say to you that one of the reasons for our program is to ask American students to strive for excellence in honor of those who serve and have served, because I honestly believe that American students can be the best in the world if they follow the example of those who serve as the best in the world. So over and over again, thanks for your example. What are ways that those who are not formally a part of the organization or an organization, what ways can they informally support?
Well, we do, one of our big missions throughout the whole year is Wreaths Across America, as you said, and we've had the honor of laying a wreath at your father-in-law's headstone, which is,
yes.
Thank you for allowing us to do that.
Lee Clark is his name.
Yes, and yes. It's a pleasure to be able to do that. So thank you. But the mission behind Wreaths Across is to remember the fallen, honor those who served, and teach our children the value of freedom. And when we have children on Wreath Day, which this year it's December 14th at 11 a.m., we do Leavenworth National, is where we lay our wreaths at. We lay the wreath, the veterans' wreaths. We look at them, salute them, or or put your hands on your heart, step back, say their name. And we encourage people to remember that name, go home and Google and learn a little bit about that person. And that way their memory is still here. They're still being thought about
Yes.
and talked about.
And why December 14th?
It's the second Saturday of the month of the December every year.
Yes. So,
So
now I'm just curious before we take our break from hearing from Debbie Austin. Who are some of the people you have been privileged, as it were, to meet, as they are privileged to meet you? Any special kinds of things or people you have encountered?
well, one one for sure is definitely you. We've met. I don't remember. It's been several years that
Wow.
we met and at an event, and you invited me and Jim Butler was the Gold Star dad to your
Yes,
station, and we got to talk, and we've formed a great friendship since then. So one
absolutely.
is one is absolutely for you, is I have to say is you, and you've continued to allow me to tell my story.
You are very, very kind, and believe that it is indeed reciprocal. But I'm sorry, please go ahead. Just thank you so much, but please go ahead.
And I mean, I think the most important people I've met, I would have to say, are other families along this journey. And there's so many of them. I would hate to start mentioning them because I'm afraid I would forget somebody, but so many along this journey. I have also met some of Shane's battle buddies. Um, one one is he became a sheriff in Florida since since he retired from the military, and he has a canine dog that he named after Shane.
Wow,
So yeah, so
outstanding.
there's canine, yes, canine Shane. So that's kind of an, and I actually got to meet the both of them a couple of years ago.
That is
So
outstanding.
yeah, yes. So, but
Well,
the families along this journey, it's you know, are who's dear to my heart too. So
this is just so wonderful. It is already 1:30 p.m. I wanted to engage you for a while. If you can stay through the break, I would appreciate it. But uh,
I can, yes, absolutely.
that is so good. Let me turn it back over to our producer, engineer, announcer, co-host, DeQuay Wilson.
It is time to remind our 7th through 12th grade students that you can win a monetary award from our sponsoring organization. Yes, we say organization on purpose, with purpose. Stoots for Boots. Your essay title will be Heroes You Know You Didn't Know Were Heroes. Your content will identify a veteran at your school who can be absolutely anyone, a coach, custodian, teacher, administrator, absolutely anyone. If your essay is chosen and submitted by an adult who gives you permission to read it on this Waive Your Grades program, you will be awarded a monetary prize. For entry or inquiry, please send an email to stootsforboots@gmail.com. That is STOOTSFORBOOTS, stootsforboots@gmail.com. Now, back to our host, Carl Boyd.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And one of the good things about the opportunity for the essay is we have formed a partnership with VFW Post 8100, who have committed to providing the monetary reward and award for the young people 7th through 12th grade who would participate. And let me just, I'm sorry, DeQuay, did you have, I thought you had something there. I am absolutely amazed once again at the strength of my co-host, DeQuay Wilson, and ask of Debbie Austin what she answers for me every week. Um, how optimistic are you where generations to come are concerned? And if indeed you find that optimism, how do you? Why are you? And I'll ask that of Debbie Austin.
Well, I just don't want to focus on the negative. I want to stay positive. And
Yes,
because if I start to get discouraged, then it may I may not have the I may not feel the necessary to even try. So, I may resist the motivation, I guess I should say. If I stay positive, then I can continue the motivation to want to move forward. And it's this is our job as the older generation is to teach and lead by example. And we know that the younger generation make mistakes. I mean, heck, we were all young, and there's things that, we
sure.
look back at and we wish we probably would have made a better choice. But so there's still hope. I never want to give up hope. I want to stay positive.
And this has this has been consistent with those I have seen with you, and that is very encouraging. And perhaps, DeQuay, you could say something about being positive.
Well, I try not to focus on what the media portrays
Ooh.
about our youth, because
Yes.
I've been fortunate enough to meet some young people, just a couple that have been on this show. We've got Mr. Xavier Sidney, we've got Mr. Micah Smith. I've met youth who are doing something with their lives, who are portraying themselves as good human beings. So it is because of those children that I remain optimistic about the future, considering our youth. I try not to focus on what the media portrays, because they pick and choose, and oftentimes it's the most derelict instances of our youth behavior. So when I think about the kids that I've met in real life, the kids that I've interacted with in real life, I remain optimistic about our future because of our kids.
Debbie Austin, I always love when DeQuay contributes to the program, because it's always powerful and meaningful. And that brings me to a question, as a matter of fact. How does Debbie Austin feel about media? And that would be mass media, that would be social media. How are media doing in the climate of America in 2024? What would Debbie Austin say?
Well, I have to agree that sometimes it's best to turn it off or just ignore it, because I do feel sometimes that the media focuses on the negative when there is so much positive that we just don't see, or we choose. I don't know if we choose not to see it, or we're blinded by it because of all the negative.
And
There's positive in almost everything. Sometimes we really have to search for it, because the negative is always right there in your face. But sometimes you really have to search for it.
And DeQuay is agreeing with you.
The only thing is, I would like to add, there is a positive in everything, but again, sometimes you have to search for it, and sometimes you have to search really hard for it. But in every situation, there is a positive.
Yes. I mean, I think that even with the loss of my son, it took me a while to get past the shock and not wanting to believe it. But once I realized that no matter how many tears I shed or how deep the hole in my heart is, Shane's not coming home physically. So it's up to me to live my life in a way that he will be proud of. And that's what I try to do every day. And keep his memory alive, and not only his memory, but all those that have gone before him and that will go after him.
Well, please know that it is what we see in you, but more importantly, it is what we feel from you. And it cannot be easy, and that's why I marvel at DeQuay. I can empathize. But in terms of having that experience, your strength, your example, DeQuay, you made me think about one of the, I'll call it geriatric rap offerings that I put together. I'm going to remember some of the words, but it is: tell the truth about the youth, tell the truth about the youth. A lot of people want to come to me and talk about the youth. I just don't want to hear it unless they tell the truth. A lot of people want to believe all the hype. They see all youth as one stereotype. Just because they're young, they try to say they're bad. That is a generalization, and that's sad. So, and there's more to it, but the idea is there are so many more good and positive youth than media reveal that, as both of you are saying, sometimes you have to search for it. But when we find it, we should indeed broadcast it to the hilts.
Definitely. Unfortunately, it's when if the positive and what our youth is doing, I guess, doesn't bring in the viewers. I guess like on the news, it's if they reported about all the positive, I don't know. Maybe that's the way they feel. It's the negative that and what they're doing wrong. But I think that your program, eh, you have produced a lot have of young, positive young people. So
And
kudos to that.
thank you. We have been blessed to meet some really dynamic young people. And by the way, I would be remiss if I did not mention Attorney Valencia brought us, Ms. Paris Holly, who have regularly been a part of the program and presented very positive young people.
Absolutely, on a hands-on basis.
Yes. How large an organization is Gold Star Moms?
We have probably around 300 nationally. Now, that's not to say everybody's active because we as organizations go, that happens sometimes, but we have about 300 nationally. We do have our national convention in Colorado Springs, Colorado
Wow.
at the end of June. So we will all gather there.
Oh, that it's Air Force Academy, is it not? I think in Colorado Springs.
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
And you know what? I'm so glad. Let me tell you how God works, TeQuay and Debbie. When I was asking the question, the person in the room who was helping to answer the question was Louis George Walker. And I had thought before we were going to the break, he stepped out for a moment, and I said I didn't get an opportunity to ask Louis George Walker to give us the salient information that our listeners need. And we love it because when he makes this announcement, Debbie Austin, he talks about Wave Your Grades, but there are so many programs on KUAW.org that we are just pleased to hear from Louis George Walker, founder of KUAW. Louis George Walker, please speak to Debbie Austin and those others who are listening.
Well, I'll be glad to. Thank you, and hello to Debbie. I was glad I
Hello.
was glad to talk to you earlier too.
Yes.
But you're listening to KUAW Radio, Kansas City's global community radio station. You can pick us up in a lot of different ways. We broadcast live on 100.5 FM in Kansas City, Missouri, from the historic Jazz District, and we also are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We broadcast our audio side on Get Me Radio, Online Radio Box, Radio Tuner, and TuneIn app. You can go to our website at kuaw.org and click on any of the links and you can hear our broadcast. If you have a smart speaker, a Google or Amazon, just tell it to play KUAW, and we're on that. We're also on Roku, Amazon, and Fire Stick. So any of those ways you can pick us up. So all you have to do is search, hit Google, tell it KUAW, and you're going to find ways to listen to this show. So we thank you all for listening and enjoying this great show today. And we'll continue to bring more to you. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you so
Thank you.
very much, Louis George Walker. And as we return, let me ask Debbie Austin, for those who desire to support, contact information and ways to interact with Debbie Austin?
Well, but I can give you my email address. Is that in case you want to help support the American Gold Star mothers, or if you know of a mother who has lost their child through the military, ways we connect. Um, or if you want to be a part of Reefs Across America. And Carl, I think I sent you the link to that. I don't know if you can share that.
Uh, you did, as a matter of fact. I am going to make that a regular part, and did I bring it? If I did not bring it today, I will just make that a regular announcement. I'm looking at bet ticks
But
and those things. Yes.
you can join our Reefs Across America page. It's Reefs Across America, Leavenworth National Cemetery.
Wreaths
And you can
across
Reefs Across
America,
America.
Leavenworth
National.
National
Yes.
Cemetery.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, that's a way you can reach out to me too. And I mean, yeah, so if you'd like to be involved in any of that, I will be able to help direct you.
That is perfect. And as a matter of fact, DeQuay, will you please read that email address?
Absolutely. The email address is amgsdeb@yahoo.com. And I just want to repeat, you can go to on the web, you can go to Reads Across America, Leavenworth National Cemetery, and participate in that way.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. This is Wave Your Grades, KUAW.org. Our very special guest today has been Debbie Austin. Now, distinguish again between the two, I say Gold Star moms, and there is, as you so saliently point out, and thank you very much, that sacrifice indeed makes you a Gold Star mom and a Gold Star dad for that matter. Once more, for our listeners, distinguish between the two, the formal and the certain.
October 8th, 2006 is when I became a Gold Star mom, the day that Shane was killed. And the rest of his family, his dad became a Gold Star dad and his brothers became a Gold Star sibling. Then later, just a few months later, the organization of American Gold Star Mothers reached out to me, and that's when I learned about that organization and became an American Gold Star Mothers. By joining the organization, you pay your monthly or yearly dues, just like a VFW or American Legion, but we work within the communities to make sure our son or daughters are not forgotten.
I'm glad.
And we are supportive of each other.
And that is absolutely seen in very demonstrable ways. And you reminded me, how can those who want to be supportive contribute to the organization?
You can go to American Gold Star Mothers, the website, and there's a place where you can donate, or you can just join us in our events that we do, participate, and that being there sometimes just shows your support.
Well, this
So
is
American Gold Star Mothers, yes.
American Gold Star Mothers.
Mothers.org, yes.
DeQuay, anything more before I ask some closing questions?
No, I just want to thank Debbie for what she does in honor of our service members, in honor of her son, and in contribution to our community. So thank you, Debbie.
Well, thank you. And I want to say to you, I know as a mother who has lost a son too, sometimes I can never find the right words. Because I don't feel that there are the right words to offer. Sometimes it's just to know that you have support, and sometimes it's just a hug. A big hug can let you know that people care.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
I
absolutely,
I feel
absolutely.
I would love to hug you right now, I guess, but you
And I
know.
would hug you back. But I wanted to speak on something. So I guess there was something. I wanted to speak on something that we both talked about earlier about the negative and the positive. I say there's a positive in everything, and I have to acknowledge the actual act of losing my son. I can't think of anything actually positive in that particular instance, but the positive that has come from that is the memories of the love, the memories of the times that we spent together, the feeling that knowing that he is still with me, even though he's not here physically. I know my son is still with me. So there's the positive in that for me. I can only speak for me. So even though the act itself, the incident itself, it is not one of a positive nature, there's still a lot positive. And I think about, we probably would never have time for me to go into the many blessings that I've received in my son's passing. But when I think about how I've been blessed in his passing, there's so many things, there's so many positives, so many things for me to be thankful for. So I wanted to make sure I touched on that before we got totally away from this conversation.
And I that's exactly right. There's you yes, it's put you on a different journey, and there's been positives within the journey. The act of losing the child's not a positive, but the things that have happened amongst the journey, I think along the journey has a lot of positive.
A-
So
Absolutely. And someone who's probably never been in those shoes could not fully comprehend. They can wrap their mind around, but to fully comprehend probably could not.
and the saying, when people say you should be over it, or
Ooh.
Oh, you
you
never
never
get
get
over
over
it.
it.
You never
But
get over it.
on and nor do you. For me personally, I don't want to get over it, because the minute that pain is gone means Shane's
That
forgotten.
means
So
exactly. That means he meant nothing to me. He means nothing to me. So yeah,
grief
I
is the
don't ever
price we
want it.
pay for love.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am. I
grief.
agree.
So yes.
Make me cry.
Debbie Austin, I think that you would agree with me that your suggestion for and perhaps request for a hug has just been fulfilled.
Oh, yes.
I sit as a witness to the depth of the love and the meaning. And you know what? Wow. I'm saying that young people learn more by example than they do by instruction. Ooh, I just wish that the thrones were listening to this exchange of love, because we try to define it in so many different ways, but when it manifests naturally based upon the depth of true, authentic feeling, neither of you could imagine writing out the words that work. No words work
Mm-mm.
until they are sincere. And so they do work. They work for me. I've never felt that. I count my blessings every day. But when I get the opportunity to participate in this kind of discourse, I understand love, and I witness the hugs, and I appreciate the opportunity. Brother Walker, were you getting ready to say something? I saw you slide up. We're getting ready to ask our very special guest, Debbie Austin, for those words you would not want to leave in the parking lot, but that all of those who are listening and participating with us might hear from you. Anything special? Anything's plural special?
I guess just live every day to the fullest, and again, 'cause what I said earlier in the show, be an American worth dying for. If it's as simple as passing somebody on the street and giving them a little smile,
Wow.
smile can go a long way too. It just be kind. Just be kind.
Well, cannot thank you enough for that, because you have indeed demonstrated what you recommend. Doesn't get any better than that. DeQuay, any final words for Debbie Austin?
Just again, a sincere thank you for what you do.
Amen.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for spending the whole program with us. I know that you are a busy person, but most particularly this weekend, you have helped us to find more meaning in Memorial Day and the weekend celebration. Thank you so very
Can I
much. Yes,
can I say
please.
one thing?
Please.
I do an exhibit called Remembering Our Fallen of Kansas. It has the faces of those from Kansas that died in
Oh,
Iraq and Afghanistan, and Missouri has one also. We will both be inside Union Station for celebration at the station this weekend. So if
outstanding.
you're at Union Station for celebration, come on in Union Station and see the exhibits.
Do you know the times that they are available to us from what time until what time and for how many days?
I will be setting up the exhibit tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 o'clock, and then we will take the exhibits down Monday night.
That is so wonderful.
Now the
And
celebration,
yes.
I think it starts at 4. You know, this Kansas Symphony starts at 4, I believe.
Now this is wonderful at Union Station. Is there a fee
No, no.
so that those who are visitors to Union Station can come in and participate and certainly view starting in the morning and participate in the afternoon at 4 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's outstanding. Congratulations for that. And thank you for that. Is it artwork that you created, or was it artwork that was presented to you?
It's an exhibit that was founded by Bill and Yvonne Williams out of Nebraska, and
Okay.
they have one for probably there's about 15 states that have the individual exhibits.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I don't. I just set it up. I didn't know it's. I
Yeah.
didn't develop it.
But it is for all generations.
It's for all generations to view, but it's the faces of those that lost their lives in Kansas and Missouri in the Iraq and Afghanistan war.
So a family can bring their children as well as their great grandparents. It,
Yes,
it,
sir.
it spans the generations for that kind of respect and appreciation. I am so glad you announced that, because those who have an occasion to appreciate Union Station for different kinds of celebrations, this works and is even more meaningful than most. So thank you, Debbie Austin.
You're welcome,
And
Carl.
before you go, will you say that name again of your son?
Private First Class Shane Robert Austin.
Thank you to him. Thank you to you. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and nice meeting everyone.
We've met before, Debbie, and you were in studio. We've met before.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm ready to come back in studio. That was fun.
Yes, ma'am. We
Now,
would
there
love
you
to have
go.
you in studio.
Louis George Walker was saying he was just getting ready to say that. See, we need to hook you up with a mic so at each moment you can. But yes, that is an invitation, so keep that in mind, and it will be before
Okay.
December. Before
Okay.
December 14th, we promise. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, sir. You
You
guys
are.
have a safe weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org. DeQuay.
You know, I was going to go into our closing so that you could actually have time to do both your daily message.
No, not at all.
And your Carl's commentary. But I just want to point out, when the shows are good, the time really flies. It seems like we've been sitting here for about 10 minutes. It doesn't seem like an hour has gone by already.
Isn't that
So,
true?
yeah.
That is most interesting, and wow. For someone to experience for whatever that amount of time is, there are certain things that are repetitious, but they're never old. And it is important for those of us who have not had that experience to understand how love is defined. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I guess in that April 10th, 1966 speech, where he was talking about we are challenged on every hand to achieve excellence in our life's work. Not all are called to professional fields, even few will rise to the heights of genius in the arts and sciences. And he went on, but in his love remarks, when he was talking about what love is, he was saying, you're not talking about eros or romantic love. You're not talking about philia or familia, family love, but talking about agape love, an unconditional love that is grounded in the spirit that is within us. It is remarkable when you have that feeling of love that you don't have to see a face, you don't have to see a physique, you don't have to hear an accent, you don't have to look at race or any of those things that she articulated so well. Then you don't have to go and try to find the definition for it, because the definition for it is with us. So, please, whatever you wanted to say, I am fine with my morning message or however you want to do it.
Well, I definitely do not think I have anything extra to add to today's conversation. I think it was an amazing conversation this morning, or this afternoon rather, and it was truly an expression of love, and there's nothing to top that. But with that being said, I would like to thank our listeners for joining us on Your Stoops for Boots Wave Your Grades program. We do come to you live every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your announcer, KUAW Wilson. Now, before I turn it back over to Carl, I just want to remind everyone that while we are celebrating the loss of our loved ones this weekend, this Memorial Day weekend, do please remember those who actually have lost their lives during service. Now I will turn it over to Carl so that he can close with either Carl's commentary on academic patriotism or his morning messages, or his message to students from his book, Morning Messages. Again, I am your announcer, KUAW Wilson. Here is Carl Boyd.
And I will start with Carl's commentary. That commentary is, let us never forget. And now, to students across the USA, your Stoops for Boots message for this day, May 25th, KUAW Wilson. This is actually what I wrote in the book for May 25th. Listen to these words. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. And so it is when we talk about Wave Your Grades. It is a blessing to have the kind of guest that we had today. Debbie Austin, mother of Shane. And thank you to KUAW Wilson, our producer. Thank you, Louis George Walker. My name is Carl Boyd. Gracious God and wonderful Wanda, I'm on my way home.